Hello all and welcome to All Red. Well, we already know that Arne Slot is known to employ some, shall we say, wacky formations. And we saw a little bit of that against Real Betis last week. But I am here to speculate on two in particular. I think we can look at a hyper defensive formation that we might see this next season under Arne Slot, and a hyper offensive formation for when Liverpool needs to break the bus, as it were, break down a stodgy defense who might be playing for a draw or trying to get one of those quick, cheap, one-on-one fast break goals after they've parked 9 players in front of their goal. So that's what we're going to look at first. We're going to look first at the hyper defensive formation. But first, this is the channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's all red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing as we continue to build the best LFC channel in the world. Okay, let's look at the hyper defensive formation we might see under Arne Slot. We are first going to look at the goalkeeping position. That's a no-brainer. I am really high on Jarrell Kwanzaa this season, and moving forward, I think he's got so much potential. But you're going to start to notice something here as I fill out my back line. Yes, that's 3 center backs. I think this could be a decent option for Liverpool at certain times, very certain times, not every game. Don't hear me wrong here. I think Liverpool could employ a creative back line, which includes 3 center backs, which could allow our very creative wideouts, our wing backs, to push forward even more and feel more freedom to get forward. We already know that Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson love to push forward, love to get those crosses into the box, and I think that's going to be a very important thing for them to continue to do under Arne Slot. But look at this. Look at what we've got already. A very hyper defensive, because this is similar to what we've seen in the past, except we've got an extra center back in there, which would allow Trent and Robbo to, yes, focus on defense, but not feel the need to stay back as far. Now, as far as the midfield goes, I'm putting Alexis McAllister and Stefan Bajcetic. Oh my goodness, I can never get his name. Bajcetic. I think that's it, right? Bajcetic. I'm going to get it someday. Alexis McAllister and Stefan Bajcetic right here in the midfield. This gives us some really solid defense in the mid. I know McAllister's not a typical, world-class defensive midfielder, but he's done really well, actually, as a defensive midfielder. Where'd my lights go? As a defensive midfielder. And I think having Bajcetic back there, Bajcetic, I'm so sorry, Bajcetic back there with him will allow him to press forward when he needs to. But look at this. This is a very difficult thing to break down here, because you've got 5 defenders and now 2 really solid defensive-minded midfielders who do a really good job of breaking up the opposition's attack. Now, we only have 3 positions remaining here. So what do we do with those? And how do we not get stuck back in our own stodgy defense and forget about scoring? So I've got Mohamed Salah in the middle here. Now hear me out. Okay, Mohamed Salah is the link between our defense and our attack. And I think he would do that really, really well. This also allows him to get out, and he could potentially, gravitate towards that right side. But look at this. Look at this. All right, so I've got Gakpo and I've got Darwin Núñez up here. Both of those players are press breakers. They can get forward. They can break the back line pretty easily of the defense. And especially if we have, again, this is a hyper defensive, it's leaning more defensive. If we have a team that we know is going to all out attack, we can stick back a little bit more. But at the same time, what's great about the talent Liverpool currently has is we've got Robbo and Trent, who on a moment's notice, they can, hey, get out of here. They can stop it. They can press forward, get forward, and get into the attack. And now look at this. Núñez can track here, and Salah can come out here. McAllister can come up here a little bit more, and Bajcetic can, kind of get into that more central defensive midfield role. Now you might say, okay, well, we've got some big gaps here, but yeah, we do. But look, I mean, these guys can spread out. And of course, Trent, like they have done in the past, Trent and Robbo can come back when they need to. So I think there's a lot of flexibility here. It is a more defensive setup with 3 center backs, but at the same time, it also allows, certain players like Trent and Robbo to get forward, knowing that we've got essentially 3 center backs and another very strong defensive midfielder. Obviously, Bajcetic is very young and a little bit unproven at this point, but I have high hopes for him. Okay, so that's my hyper defensive look. Now let's look at the hyper offensive setup that Liverpool could employ when another team is really trying to play for a draw or do that thing. Like, it's sort of like, think about the Mourinho style of play, like super boring. We're going to pack our own box. We're going to defend to the death and then hope that, we can get a ball out to our striker and get a lucky goal. How do we break that? Because I think a lot of teams have had success against Klopp's Liverpool trying to do that. When we think about last year, like we had games where we were putting in 30 plus shots and weren't scoring a single goal because the opposition just wanted to defend and try to get a lucky goal on the break. So let's look at how could we be even more potent on offense and break down some stodginess on the defensive side. Well, again, I'm going to go with kind of a 3 on the back line, but this time I've got Andy Robertson back there. Again, this is for when the opposition, their attack is not super potent. We know heading into the game, they're going to play for a draw or they're going to play to not lose essentially. And we need to basically break that down. So I've got Van Dijk, Kwanzaa, and then Robbo. Now Robbo he's not focusing on a center back type play. He is merely back there as a defender primarily. This could be Konate as well, or you could put Kwanzaa up here and Konate down there. We could run with the 3 center back again, but again, this is more hyper offensive. This is when we need to absolutely get forward and score a goal. This could also be employed late game, maybe not starting the game like this, but hey, we're down a goal or it's tied and we really need the 3 points. Let's employ this to just absolutely blitzkrieg the other team and try to get a goal. So now what we're going to look at is our midfield. I've got Trent here, I've got Szoboszlai here, and then I've got McAllister in the middle. So you're going to start to see this is kind of like a 3-3-3-1, I believe. And I'll kind of show you, move some pieces around to show you how this might work and how this might unfold. So I've got Trent, McAllister, Szoboszlai. I think that's a really strong midfield. Not the most defensive midfield, but again, this is when we need to score a goal. And I'm going to show you what Szoboszlai and Trent are going to provide to this ridiculous attack. Because I feel like those two in late game situations could be absolute game changers. And honestly, McAllister as well. All right, so I've got kind of this fulcrum here of Diogo Jota coming in and being that link up between the defense, midfield, and the attack. And alongside of him, I'm going to put Salah on the right and Gakpo on the left. And then, of course, you guessed it, Darwin Núñez up top. So now what we have here is essentially a Christmas tree. It's a tree. Look at that. It's a tree on its side. We now have a very, very potent attack. Now, of course, we've got gaps down the sides here, but these guys can function over there. Whoops. These guys can function over. Even Trent can come back and drop back if need be. But look at what this provides. So this could be, so Salah's getting wide. Gakpo is getting wide as well. Now, Diogo Jota can slot in here. Darwin Núñez here. But when we have guys like Szoboszlai and Trent pushing forward, like no goalie, no keeper is safe when these guys are hovering around this like 30 to 40 yard line here, because they can hit it from there and they can score. We know that. Same with McAllister, right? McAllister's up here and we've got possession in the attacking third, and you've got Robbo here, you've got Van Dijk in the middle and Kwanzaa here. Now, you can't let off any of these 3 guys right here. Like, you can't let them shoot from distance. And if you can't let them shoot, there's going to be gaps. There's going to be gaps in the defense where you slot it into Jota. Anytime Jota gets anywhere in here, you've got danger. And then, of course, Darwin Núñez will be just able to create a little bit of chaos and, figure out how to kind of break in through here as well. So that is some of the more, I think maybe not wacky is the right term, but some of the more unconventional, there you go, unconventional formations that I don't think Slot will necessarily start off the game with, but could potentially morph into that as the game goes on and as he sees the opposition's style of play and way that they intend to play us. The good thing is we have so much talent here. This is only 11 players. I feel like we could field another team of 8 that would be really, really talented as well. Guys like Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, and the rest, right? Luis Diaz, if he sticks around. And then we've got some, up and coming players like Gravenberch, maybe Trey Neone, maybe he sees some cup games, but we have so much talent and I feel like we have so much versatility in our side, which is what Slot likes. He likes those versatile players. And so I'm excited to see some of the more wacky formations, unconventional formations, because I think it's just going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be, I feel like this past season with Klopp, it was like, you never knew what the team sheet was going to be. There was never this starting 11 that was guaranteed every game. It was different and it was fun. It was like fun to speculate. How is Klopp going to come out? And I feel like that's going to be the case with Arne Slot, which is good because then the opposition doesn't necessarily know how we're going to come out and play. So let me know what you think in the comments. Even if you think I'm an idiot and think that these are stupid, please let me know. I'd love to hear the feedback. All right, up the Reds.